Hey booktube, it's Jackie. How's it going? If you're new to me and this is the first time you're seeing my face, hello, what's up? My name's Jackie. I sit on my floor and I talk about books. So I hope that's why you're here because that's what's gonna be happening today. If you're not new to me, thank you for always tuning in and the continued support. I really do appreciate it. So today for you, I have another collab video which was put together by my girl, Becky from FirstLadyReads. I'll link her in the down box below. You know, she's like the collab queen over here on booktube. And she was wanting to do a special Thanksgiving video, and I actually kind of threw this idea at her, and she ran with it and became this big collab. So of course I had to be part of it. So this is recommendations based off of the word thankful, thanks, Thanksgiving, and books that I'm thankful that start with those letters of the word. And I decided to use the word thankful. So I'll be giving you recs that represent each letter of the word thankful. So if you'd like to find out what books I'm thankful for this year, grab yourself a drink, have yourself a seat, and let's get talking some books. Okay, so yes, this is a book recommendation video based off of the word thankful. So just kind of like Sesame Street, it's brought to you by the letters in the word. So yeah, it was a spur of the moment idea. I gave it to her and she decided to go with it. So yeah, here it goes. I think I'm one of the last people to upload because you know that's how I roll. So let's just get into it. So for the letter T, my recommendation is Touch of Darkness by Scarlett St. Clair. So of course I had to put this book on here. Not only is this the first installment to a dark romance series, Cady Persephone retelling, this book got me back on YouTube. So that's one reason why I'm so thankful for its existence. Actually, you can see the whole series right here in my shelf. It holds a permanent place there for me. It's important to me. This book I was reading because I was in a physical book club with some of my girlfriends in my real life. And when I started that book club, I had picked another book and my girlfriend said that we should read this one instead. And when I read the back of it, I was like, dope, let's do it. And I could not stop talking about this book. I just kept gushing over and over and over and over again. And it got to the point where my husband was like, maybe you should start your YouTube channel again because I'm tired of hearing about the fucking book. So I'm thankful for this book because it brought me back here and it got me introduced to all these amazing people, my book coven girls, all of my followers and subscribers. You guys are awesome. And to all my future subscribers that are seeing this way back in the day, thank you for joining my family. And it's all because of this book. So like I said, this is the first installment to a series and it's all right here. It is a completed series now, just so you're aware. And it follows Hades and Persephone. Now this is Touch of Darkness. This is the whole story from Persephone's perspective. Scarlett St. Clair also has a series called the Hades Saga, which is Hades' interpretation of this exact series. So within this series, you get two series, and it's amazing. And the final conclusion, Touch of Chaos, which just came out this year. Was it this year? Yeah, I think it just came out this year. It actually takes both series and combines them into one book, so you get dual perspectives. And it is amazing. We get to see Persephone from the start all the way to her goddess embrace. We get to see the romance build between Hades and Persephone. We get to see the mythology thrown into modern day times, utilized so well. We get to see all different types of characters. We get introduced to monsters. We get introduced to other gods. We get introduced to oracles. We get some very, very good companions, and we get even some great animal companions in the underworld. And we get to see so many worlds in this story. I love this, and this is the initial book that starts it off. I cannot tell you how much I love this book. It is 5 stars, easy 5 stars. This book put Scarlett St. Clair on the map for me, and now she is literally one of my most favorite authors of all time. And I actually have a video, I'll link it here, of me meeting her. I cried. I actually cried because she signed my copy of the book, which is this one. This is my autographed copy of it that she signed. So yes, I'm very, very thankful for this book because not only did it bring me back to YouTube, it gave me something that I wanted and it hit and I have been in love with it ever since. I've always enjoyed the Hades and Persephone retelling, even when growing up and learning about Greek mythology. But this story, I will never get to reread this for the first time, but God, I wish I could, because I'm so thankful it exists. So Scarlett St. Clair, if you ever see this, thank you for your creation of this series. I loved it. It's such a huge part of my life, and I hope that you guys will pick up this recommendation and give this one a shot, because if you like Hades and Persephone, Hades, man, fucking Hades. It's Hades, and he's a god for so many reasons. Oh my God, he's amazing. And this is spicy as fuck. These spice scenes, oh God. I need a drink for those. Give me a second. I'm very thankful. Very, very thankful for the teasing, for the titillating, all of it. I'm so thankful. All of it. So that's my T recommendation. For H, my H recommendation is this bad boy. This is Haunt by Christina Marziatis. This is another first installment to a very, very long saga series. I have a full book review for this book. I will link it here. You guys can check it out. I discovered this book through Reads Discovery, which I did reviews for them. And this book actually was my book of the year in 2023, along with the cover of the year in my 2023. And you can watch my First Lady Reads Awards of 2023. I'll link in the down box below if you guys like to. But this was my book. So let me explain something. I originally gave this thing 4 stars, and then I could not stop talking about this. I literally gushed about this over and over and over and over and over again, and I just could not stop talking, so I bumped it up to a 5-star. I just changed it to a 5-star because this thing is just amazing. We follow Mac and Charlotte. Charlotte is a runaway, and she encounters Mac, who is a serial killer who's being hunted. And their lives just clash together. And then through this saga of a story that will take you up and down and sideways and inside out, because this is a fucking Rubik's Cube of literature. Oh my God, the puzzles that this one puts together, the Easter egg she leaves, the plot holes that you think are being left, but they're actually not, because the way she overlaps things in future books. Oh my God, it's fucking spellbinding. Also, just a heads up, I'm really good friends with the author, and I met her through this book. She is literally my sister from another mister, and I'm in love with her husband. She already knows this. I mean, I literally hit on him in my video. It was great, but I love him, and I love her even more. So she has actually requested me to review his entire series. So I get to review this entire series. The Love Letting series, which is the name of this series, will be in the down box below. So you can go check out those videos. I just love this series. It's such a huge part of me. It gave me someone that I was missing. She's a missing piece of me. And I got introduced to her through her books, and through her books, I have learned who she is. On the outside, I've learned who she is. So of course I had to, if we're talking about books I'm thankful for, I have to put this one in here because I am just so thankful that it exists. I'm so thankful that there's finally an author out there who will take dark and twisted and show the beauty within it, because I'm one of those people that can find beauty in the dark, and she sees it so well. And also, she's a photographer, so she's got the fucking eye. The whole family is multi-fucking talented, and I'm still up for adoption, guys. I'm still up for adoption, just letting you guys all know. Still here, still waiting. Thank you, still waiting. But just so you know, this cover is no longer in production. She's actually re-released the covers. There are 4 installments out, and this is what Haunt looks like now. Both badass covers. Don't get me wrong, both badass covers, but we all know which one I'm taking home. We all know, guys. We all know. I'm not even gonna sit here and deny it. But I love this story. You need to give Mac and Charlotte a chance. Now, please understand that this is a commitment series. These books are chonkers. They're huge. They are super thick. Actually, I will hold up Haunt. This is how thick Haunt is. It is massive, okay? My cover, yeah. Yeah, so it is a massive series, and all the installments are thick, chunky tomes. So you have to give it the time that these books deserve. But trust me, if you give these books the time, the dedication, and the patience to it, you will discover a world that will take you and drop you and lift you, make you cry, rip your heart out, watch it bleed, and then feed it back to you intravenously through a fucking straw, okay? The way this woman writes is insane, and I love it. I just love it. The story she weaves, and the 4 installments that are out are just a tip of the iceberg. We have characters in here that you love, that you will one day hate. You have characters that you hate, that you will secretly love. You have characters that should scare the living piss out of you, and secretly you're so turned on that you can't read scenes with them because you have to take a moment to yourself because they're that awesome. James Miller. Also, if you're ginger and you have red hair, please be warned, you are slightly triggered in this book because you are a favorite. Definitely give this book a shot, but understand that it is a commitment and you have to give it the time it deserves to really understand it. But if you do, you will not regret a single word that you read. Promise you that. Christina will haunt you. She will curse you. She will give you a ghost, and then eventually, if you get to slave, you will become her slave. So, just saying. The bitch can write some fucking Easter eggs, okay? I love her. Christina, mwah, I love you. I'm so thankful that you are in my life. I'm thankful for your books, and I'm thankfully still the best cover. Still. Anyway, on to the next recommendation. So the next recommendation is A, and this recommendation is At Her Command by Joey W. Hill. Looks like this. This is another first installment to a series. This is actually a BDSM series about female doms, and I'm super thankful to have this one in my life because this was actually a viewer recommendation book from my viewer recommendation jar that I read, and I do full book reviews. When I draw this book, I read it and I do a full book review. So I do have another full book review for you. It'll be linked in the down box below and up here. So go check it out, okay? But in this book, we have workplace romance, we have bodyguard, we have a female dom, we have a sex club, we have BDSM practices out the ass. We've got pegging, CBT, whipping, sex club, masking, queen chair, restraining, sensory deprivation, sharing, collaring, and body scarification. If you like BDSM, sign me the fuck up. Abso-fucking-lutely. And the bitch wears great fucking shoes. Oh, she wears great shoes. Oh, I'm thankful for the shoes. I want some of the shoes in this book. Like, girl got some shoes going on. Straight up. But in this story, we follow Rosalinda, who's a dominant and powerful woman in the boardroom and of her marketing firm, and she's also a dom as well. Lawrence is a former Navy SEAL who had to leave the Navy SEALs because of a medical injury, and he has this deep embedded need to serve and protect. Rosalinda gets in some trouble, and so her girlfriends make her hire a bodyguard. Well, we hire Lawrence, but Lawrence is a sub, and then a relationship begins, and it is a fucking great one. Oh, dear God. Now, I have to admit that this book on this list is the lowest rated book, but it's rated at 3.5, okay? And trust me on this, it's a good one. It's not a very popular book on YouTube. I've never really seen anybody talk about it. I never even heard about it until my subscriber recommended it. And I'll actually link her channel in the down box below. So girl, there you go. Shout out to you. Shout out. I always say her name wrong. Her channel name's right here. I think it's Lizelle. I always say it wrong. So girl, I'm sorry. You know I love you. I'm sorry I pronounced your name wrong. I'm really fucking bad with names, guys. I'm sorry. But she actually recommended this book to me, and I was really thankful for it because this one definitely had some moments where it really made me think and ponder. There was a little bit textbook kind of read at times, but sometimes the story just took me and I went with it, and it was a very intense read, and I felt like I had to really focus and hone in, which I really like books that force me to hone in and really break it down and things of that nature. But I was so happy to read this because I've never read a female dom book that I liked. And I liked this book enough that I bought the rest of the fucking series. So yeah, I'm super thankful. This gave me a whole nother world of BDSM books that I can read because it's one of my favorite areas in dark romance because girl likes some kink here. Okay, thanks for playing. We like it. No kink shaming here at all. You bring it. And I finally found a female dom author that I could really get behind because I never really had a really good experience beforehand because I'm a very dominant personality in the first place. So I had going in this, I was kind of being like, is this bitch gonna judge me? Is she gonna write this bitch to be like some kind of psycho fucking Fatal Attraction Glenn Close fucking figure? No. No, Rosalinda was badass. She was dope. She needed to back off a little bit. I mean, she needed to take some cues, but you know, whatever. We'll learn. But I have a really good time with this one. So if you are into BDSM, if you're into female doms, if you are into dark romance, if you are into graphic as fuck smut scenes, pick this bad boy up because you won't regret it and you'll be very thankful. Just make sure you have batteries or it's rechargeable, just so you know. The next book I'm super thankful for, and this represents the letter N, is Not Yours to Keep by Ella Jacobs. And it looks like this. This is the first installment to a trilogy, but it's not completed yet. And this is the Not Yours to Keep trilogy. This shows BDSM romance with an emphasis in the BDSM lifestyle rather just sexual practices. We do have BDSM practices of spanking, food intake, extreme submissive and dominant behavior. We also emphasize sadist and masochistic behaviors in this. We also feature a dom wide choose element with an age gap of 11 years and 20 years, graphic sexual content, and some dubious consent. So a lot of triggers in this one. I'm super thankful about this book because here's why. Ella Jacobs, she was one of the first authors to give me a chance to review her book. She trusted me with this. This is one of the first author requested reviews I've ever done. And I have a full book review. It'll be linked here. And I have not reviewed all of her books because I'm a little bit behind because I went, through a moment. And let me tell you something. Her books, you gotta be prepared. You gotta be mentally prepared because this bitch will suck you in. She will take you for a ride, and you will feel things that you shouldn't feel for things that you thought were wrong, and you will secretly want. She will just eviscerate you. And if you are like me, a very emotional, a very passionate, a very empathetic reader, this book will put you through the fucking ringer. Okay, it will. I'm not gonna sit up here and deny it, but that's one of the most beautiful things about Ella Jacobs' writing. It is amazing. This is her debut novel, okay? Debut, and it was breathtaking. I gave this thing 4 stars. There's an amazing, beautiful music component because we follow Clara, who's a piano student, and she's in a dominant, submissive relationship going into the story with her opera singer boyfriend, Marcus. But he is going away. He does tour, and so they have kind of a long distance relationship. And at this point in the story, this is the longest they've ever been together. And his mentor, his friend, Grigory, he's also a dom. And he has not had a submissive in a while. And he wants to share Claire's submissive with Grigory because he feels like it will help complete Grigory. But Grigory is a much sterner, more structured, more sadistic dom than Marcus is. Marcus does not have the firm hand that Clara wants and feels that she needs. He's got all the aftercare, which is amazing. Grigory has the bedroom component, the lifestyle firmness component, that this rigor that she needs to maintain in her pianist abilities because she's a very talented pianist. And so he offers to share her for a few nights during some piano lessons. And it's it's the first installment to a trilogy that I really wish Ella would finish. Finish it. I need it. All right. But here in down box below will be the series link. I reviewed every book in this series so far, along with some of the other Ella Jacobs work. I'm super thankful for this one because Ella gave me a chance. She was one of the first authors to believe in me, and I will never forget her for that. And you will be seeing more Ella Jacobs on this channel. Trust me. It's just her books take some time because they are so God, they are great. They are fucking great. They're good. They're great. They pull everywhere and make you feel things that's just, I love it. So thank you, Ella. Thank you for being in my life, and thank you for trusting me with your stories. You were the first one that gave me a chance. So thank you so much. I'm so thankful for you. Because of you, a lot of authors have also taken chances on me. So thank you so much. And thank you for this book. And please go pick this book up. You can find it pretty much everywhere, and it's fucking awesome, especially if you like BDSM. Just be warned that if you are a dominant at heart, this book is primarily written from a submissive's perspective. So please go into that knowing that, because there are going to be scenes as a dominant person. It's going to be very hard for you to wrap your mind around. That's one of the beautiful things about Ella's writing, is that she still guides you, even though you're the dominant personality, because she may be a submissive in life, but in her writing, she's your dom, and she will tell you what you need to see, what you need to feel. All you got to do is let her hold your hand, and you're going to be okay. You're going to be wet, you're going to be in pain, and you're going to feel really fucking satisfied afterwards. All right? There you go. The next letter is K, and there was only one book I could put on here, and that is Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J. Maas. This is the final installment of the Throne of Glass series. Now, you have to read the entire Throne of Glass series to understand this book. But if you have read anywhere in the Throne of Glass series and you're still on the fence, if you want to continue, do. Because this ending is worth it. I have a full reading vlog of this book, and I'll link in the down box below. You can see my reactions to the entirety of this book of reading it, okay? This was a way to end a series, but I'm not ready to say goodbye, okay? I'm still not ready. And Sarah J. Maas became one of my favorite authors when I did the SJM read-along, which is how I picked up Sarah J. Maas in the first place. We read all of her published works in publication order to find all the ties and everything. And when I got to this book, I was ready. I was ready for this story, for this big, massive moment. I was ready, but I was never ready to say goodbye. I don't want to say goodbye. But if I have to, I'm going to be okay. But I don't think I have to anymore. If what I've heard is true, I don't have to be. I'm excited. But if you are a fan of fairies, if you're a fan of fighting, if you're a fan of changelings, if you're a fan of really good sex scenes and fire and growth, character arcs out the ass, of ties and this, you're gonna love this series. It does take a little bit to get into because, let's be honest, she started writing the book when she was 16, but you can definitely see the growth of the author, of the characters, of the mentality. It's amazing. So I definitely recommend this book. If you are anywhere in the series, continue with the series so you can get to this one, because you don't want to miss this one. You just don't. For F, I chose Finding Home by Dean Syken. It looks like this. This is another 5-star book with another full book review. It'll be linked in the down box below. This one is a World War II historical fiction, Holocaust survival fiction, graphic depictions of genocidal violence, and it does feature some anti-Semitic statements with anti-Semitic violence with PTSD trauma. I found this one through Reads Discovery, and being a history major, that's my bread and butter. I love historical fiction, and this thing was so moving. Oh my God, it was so freaking good because it's told after the fact. We follow Ava Fleiss, who survived 9 months in Auschwitz after being taken from her home in Poland. No, Hungary. Sorry, not Poland, Hungary. And we open the story with her on the train cart coming back. And the way this man writes is so enveloping that you feel like you're on that train car. You feel the hate towards these people when they come home and they have to reacclimate to the village that sent them off in the first place. Ava was a fairly well-to-do young girl who was a pianist, and playing the piano was the only thing that ever got her through. Remembering the music is the only thing that made her survive the terrors of Auschwitz. And when she comes home, she goes back to her house, finding a family there that doesn't allow her to live there. So she ends up working for a family that took her house. Yeah, That's what she walked back to. Just the way that these people, because it's not just Ava we follow, she's the main person that we follow. Just how they had to reacclimate to society, and how the prejudice and the stereotypes that were ingrained during World War II or had been caused during the Holocaust, and how deeply latched in they were to let them go, to really start embracing. And just how Ava, with every single note she played, she rebuilt her life into something special and something beautiful and almost omniscient towards the end of the book. It was an amazing experience to read this book. I was so thankful for this experience. I recommended this book to almost every history professor I ever had. I told everybody I could that liked historical fiction, especially World War II historical fiction, to read this, because it is so moving. The way it is written is so moving. The material is just heart-wrenching. But Dean Sykin, with his words, just pure poetry, man. Pure fucking poetry. He nailed it. He fucking nailed this book. It was amazing. Definitely recommend this. When I got this book, I was kind of going into a reading slump. That's when my big reading slump began, and this kept me from it for a while because it gave me that jolt of remembering who I was when I was in college and remembering what I was passionate about. I'm passionate about authors that can really suck me in, and it helped me remember all of that. So this book just reminded me to stick with what you know and to really hone in and focus on that, because you will find yourself again. Not only will you find home, but you will find you again. And I just, I love this book. Highly recommend this book. If you love historical fiction, you will not regret this book. For you, I recommend Until Friday Night by Abby Glines. This is the start of another series, and I gave this 5 stars. This is the first installment of the Field Party series. This is a small town bully romance. We do feature loss of a parent on a page and domestic abuse off page. This is the first installment to a series of companion novels, but you do have to kind of read them in order because they do overlap each other. At least the people do. And we're following the perspective primarily of a series of boys on a football team from Lawton High. And this specific installment follows Wes and Maggie. Maggie is a self-imposed mute after she witnessed the murder of her mother. She just isn't speaking. And Wes is the all-American football star, and we find out that he is losing his father to a long battle with cancer, but he has yet to tell his teammates because he's just suffering alone. He confides in the one person he thinks isn't going to speak to him, because all he wants is someone just to listen. He doesn't need to be talked at. He just wants to be heard. And Maggie, because she doesn't talk, hears him. But what he doesn't expect is that Maggie feels safe to speak to him. And so she speaks, and they start to form a beautiful relationship of support and trust and dependence and just all the feel goods. I'm so thankful this book because it reminded me of being a teenager in high school. My daughter is currently a sophomore in high school. And when I read this book, she had just started high school. So I was seeing her experience things that I had experienced. And I remembered when it was hopeful, when all you cared about was Friday night's game and what you got on the test and who your friends were with and what your friends were doing. And I remembered how easy and just nice life was. But the thing I love about Abby Glines' writing, and the reason why I'm recommending this book, is because this series does a really good job of highlighting this feature that she has, is she takes very dark topics, but yet you don't see the darkness. You just focus on the light and the positivity and right over the next hurdle. The way she combines young adults and their hormonal imbalances and these really dark, heavy things that teenagers do deal with is so well done, because although they are dealing with the dark, I remember having dark moments as a high schooler. I remember going through serious shit, but always seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, because when you're that young, everything is possible. Anything is possible. as long as you have the person you choose by your side, the person that you love, that crush who finally looks at you, the one that makes your knees quake, those butterflies in your stomach, the one that slaps a smile on your face just because you're thinking about them. I am so thankful that I read this book and completed the series, because this series is nothing but sweet, cute, unadulterated, just smiles. It gives you hope when you think hope is lost, because if these kids can get through this, then I sure as shit can get through a day at work. You know, I just loved this story and I love this series. I highly recommend this. A lot of people are kind of on the fence with Abby Glines. I've had a lot of people come to me and say, you know, I've given her a chance before, but I just didn't really feel it. But now that I'm reading her through the perspective that you just gave, look through it through that eyes. Don't focus on the dark. Let her guide you to the light. Let the author tell you to look past this and look at the positive. And also, this is one of the best experiences of a first-time sex scene I've ever seen. It is a fade to black, but goddamn, it is sweet. It is nice. It's not degrading. It's just, it's so fucking good. It's just good, okay? Just read the book. It's also super fucking short, reads really fast. All right? And then you'll be like hooked. I promise. You'll be super thankful for until Friday night, and you'll pray for Friday nights. Just because after this book, you're gonna remember what Friday nights were like under those lights. You're gonna remember. And it's gonna make you smile so well. And the last book I have to recommend is, of course, for my letter L, and that is Love Deleted by Paul Indigo. This is another book that I'm very, very thankful for, and I also have a full book review for, so it'll be linked in the down box below if you'd like to go see it. This is a standalone women's fiction. We feature depression with suicidal thoughts. We also feature cheating, and we have an experimental neuroscience. And the reason why I'm so thankful for this book is not only did I give it 4 stars, but this actually was my very first author interview, and I will link that video in the down box below. I actually got to interview Paul Indigo on this book because this book talks about an impossible love story. So we have a married couple that one of our parties believes the other is cheating, and a new neuroscience is brought out to the forefront where you can actually delete memories, delete painful memories. They can focus on it and delete it, and she chooses to do this. And this is the story of what happens after, and it was so good. I had such a good time ripping this thing to shreds. Don't get me wrong, I ripped it to shreds, but I had so much fun tearing into this and just seeing how this book worked. And then on top of it, I got to talk to the author. I got to have a full fucking interview with him, which was just the coolest thing ever. Oh my God, that was dope, because that is definitely something I like to see for my channel one day, is to be able to sit down and interview authors. I think that's so fucking cool, and to really like not just pick their book apart, but pick them apart and find out why and the backstories and what caused this story and everything. I just had such a good fucking time with this one, and I do highly recommend it, because not only is it a great story, but it is a story that will make you think about some of the rash decisions that we make when we find out that who we thought we were with is not the person we thought they were with. And also, sometimes you should probably talk to people before you act. It's a really good moral in this story, but also true love will always find a way. No matter what happens, you can find a way back. Those are the books that I am super thankful for, and I hope you guys will give one of these a chance. If you do, please let me know. Let me know what you think. Let me know if it becomes a book that you're thankful for. But most of all, I want to thank all the authors that wrote this book, because if you saw a theme among this, is that I like passionate authors. I like authors that will make me feel things. I love authors that will make me think, that will take me out of myself, that will make me feel things that I don't normally feel. I love authors that show their passion through their writing. They're just not writing to write, but they really have a story to tell. And I love being the person that gets to find that story. So to all my authors here, if any of you ever see it, thank you so much for your gift and your talent. You have no idea what your stories really do for readers. You write a story and it goes out there, and you really don't ever, unless we tell you, the effects that it has. Some of these books gave me back a world that I thought I was not going to ever be part of again. Some of these authors gave me stories that make me feel like I've known them my entire life, and I feel like I finally found a missing piece. Some of these authors gave me back feelings that I haven't had in over 20 years. And I am not letting those go. Another one of these authors reminded me of why I love history so much. Why I loved digging and prying things apart to really see the story. And some of these authors gave me a chance. They believed in me, which I will always be thankful for. And some of these authors wrote stories that allowed me to really converse and talk with people and break things down and share that story with others. And top it all off, every single one of these authors gave me a story that I want to share with you. So thank you, all my authors. And if I didn't recommend you in this, all my authors I've read, thank you. Thank you for having the guts to put yourself out there. Because you have no idea how badass you guys all are. I love you all. And I hope you guys all have a great Thanksgiving and you find someone or something that you're thankful for and you never, ever let it go.